What's up, YouTubers? So today I got a pretty cool video. So I have done a lot of different work to my Rzr if you guys have watched my last video. Now today we're doing some upgrades, some go fast parts. So I went with the Dyno Jet Stage 2. So let me show you what that looks like. I already installed the tuner. I still have to install the clutch kit, so I am going to do a video on the clutch kit. The tuner's pretty self-explanatory of how to install it, but I'll show you where I put it anyways. Again, don't forget to follow and subscribe to my YouTube. Okay, so this is what I got here. This is the Stage 2 Dyno Jet. It comes with a tuner. This is for 16 to 21 Turbo Rzr. And the same thing with this one. I believe it's from 17 to 19. There it is. And mine is a 2020 Rzr, but they're the same all the way up to 2020. So there's nothing in this box. I already put it in the car. This is what the clutch kit looks like. So obviously it comes with some extra springs. One of these is for the primary, one of them is for the secondary, and the other one is for tuning. So I'll show you which one does what. And of course this is the kit with all the weights. I'll show you how all this works. Alright, so let me get the car ready to get the clutch taken out and all that, and what tools I used, and we'll go from there. Okay, so I already had my clutch cover, whatever you want to call it, off, so makes it a lot easier. So what I'm going to do now is take these bolts off. To be able to pull these off, there is a special puller you have to buy to get the primary off. The secondary should just slide right off. So let me get these off really quick. Alrighty, so I got these bolts loose. That's a 15 and this is an 18. Now they recommend that you do not use an impact on these. So basically you just jam this up between the frame and one of the clutches on both sides to get these loose. You do have to torque them back to spec when you tighten them. I'll show you that too. So now we're going to take these off and the clutches should come right out. Now make sure you save these washers and leave them in order. Don't mix them up. Okay, so this is the tool that you need to pull the primary off. From what I've seen, it's pretty simple. I think you can get an off-brand one on Amazon for like 30 bucks. I went and spent 70 at the Right Now store because I ordered one on Amazon and they screwed me and I never received it, and it was like a whole mess up, so I just went and bought it at the local store. So let me show you how this works. Okay, so as you can see, you pull the center bolt out and then you put this in there and you just screw it in. There we go. And then we got to tighten this up and it should just pop the clutch right out. Alright, so I went and got a socket and a wrench for it. Let's see if it does what it's supposed to. Well, I'm going to have to use two hands for this, so I'll get back right to you. Alright, so I got these babies off. Now, when you're taking this off, if it's never been removed before, it's going to be very sticky. So when you're tightening that, be ready for it to just pop on you and it come off, so you don't get hurt. I'm only saying that because of experience. So, just be careful. So this one, like I said, slides right off. This guy, you need that tool. Tool does work, but hard to take off either way. So I'm going to start taking these apart. I'm going to show you how to do it and then go from there. Okay, so this is what I got going on so far. Now, to get this spring out, you have to be really careful when you pull these out. So there is a tool that they sell. I think it's like $120, but really you can just get some moth thread, some bolts and washers, and a big socket for the top, and the bottom just uses a couple washers. Just put it to where it's tight, take these off, loosen it up, and it should work the same. So I'm about to pop all these off and we'll go from there. Alright, so the homemade tool worked. It's still holding the spring in place. The clutch dropped. Now we just got to loosen it up, take that spring out, and go from there. So I'm also going to do some maintenance while I'm here. These are definitely a little bit worn out. I would probably go with the OEM if you have an OEM clutch. These are the sliders that go on the clutch. Bought them from Polaris. They're kind of expensive for little plastic pieces. $20.50, ridiculous. But there it is if you need them. Definitely check them if you're doing a clutch kit, any type of clutch kit on your clutch. Alright, so I'm going to pop this off and then start replacing stuff. Okay, so it worked. My homemade little tool worked great. Some all thread and some bolts, some nuts, and yeah, we're good to go. So I got it off. Now I marked it just in case. I'm not sure if this is like, you know, if this is part of the balancing, so I don't want to screw it up. So I'm going to mark it and put it back the same way it was. Okay, so we're going to pull this off. This is a good time to clean everything if you need to. You do got this washer too. It goes one way, so make sure you put it back the same way with this little divot facing out. And then here's the stock spring. Alright, let me get the new stuff ready here real quick. Alright, I had to move from my spot. It was getting way too windy. Weather out here is getting cold. So I went ahead and pulled these out. This is a 10mm and this is an Allen key right here to pull these out. Focus. There we go. So I got these out. Pulled the stock arms out. We're going to be putting in the dyno jet arms right here with some weight in them. Now, the weight situation. So it took me a while. I had to do a little bit of research on it. So according to dyno jet, if you're running stock, you're going to do 1, 3, 2. And if you're running 32s or larger, you're going to do 1, 3, 1. And that is weights, how many weights you're going to put in there. So your car might be different. This is just what's going to work for me. And we'll go from there. So I'm going to get it all assembled. I'm going to replace these sliders real quick and get it all put back together. Then I'll show you what to do with the primary. Alrighty, so I got the new little arms in with the right weights. Everything's put back together. Now when you tighten these, see how they're loose? That is normal. Just tighten it until it's tight. Give it a little crank. It's not going to be tight because these need to be able to swing back and forth. Alrighty, so when it comes to the springs, for the primary you have 2 springs you can choose from. This is for dunes, if you're going to run paddles and you're going to be climbing dunes. This one's going to be for 32s or bigger. Alright, so I'm going to run this one and put everything back together. Big difference, huh? Alright, so let me reassemble everything and put it back together, and time to do the secondary. Alright, so this is all back together now. Red springs in there. Everything's compressed and tightened. I couldn't really find a torque spec for these. From what I've seen, everybody just tightens them down and makes sure they're tight. That's really it. So this is ready. Now it's time for the secondary. Okay, so now we're working on the secondary. So use your homemade puller. Basically just bottom, top. Tighten it up to where it's snug, and you're going to take these 3 bolts out. So they do have Loctite on them, so I use some heat to heat them up, melt that Loctite a little bit, and pull these babies out. So get those out, and then you're going to loosen up this nut until the spring pops out. So unfortunately I need 2 hands, and my damn tripod is broken, so let me put the camera down again and I'll take it apart and go from there. Alrighty, so I got it all out. The helix comes out. The piece that holds everything down comes out. Same thing, keep it all in order. One of these as well, facing the spring. And there's the old spring. And what I hear from a lot of people too is always make sure all these plastic wear items are in good shape and that they're not damaged. The helix slides on these. Mine's pretty new, so there's not really any damage on there. I'm also going to clean all this up since I have it all open anyways. So I'm going to put it all back together. And for this one, of course, we use the green spring. And let me tighten it all up and do the installation. And then I'm also going to do a drive video. That'll be a whole separate video. Alrighty. Alrighty, so I got her all back together. Now I did the same thing with the other one. I just marked everything where it's supposed to go. You can do it either way, I think, but just in case, I'm going to mark it. So I use the same tool. Only thing I suggest is you double up on washers, because this one does have more, it's tighter. There's more tension on this one than the primary. So it was a little bit tight to go ahead and get this back down with the new spring. The old springs are out. It's all tight and put back together. Now I'm going to put it on the car. And also another suggestion, keep your stock stuff. Somebody might need them. You know, you never know. So, alright. Let me put everything back together. We'll get one video of it running and we'll go from there.